Hi, everyone. In the previous episode, we explored the island of Koustavi. Now, we continue our journey along the Grand Ring of the Archipelago Trail, and this time, we're heading to Inyo. No private yacht needed, and no need to break the bank. In this episode of the video guide, how to reach the island, where to stay overnight. An overview of local ports, cafes, and key infrastructure. A walk to the island's historic church and a glimpse into its past. A visit to the tiny maritime pulley museum, Pieni Ploki Museo, home to Finland's largest collection of traditional ship blocks. And of course, in this episode, we'll arrive at Daelin Port. That's where we'll continue our journey around the Grand Ring of the Archipelago Trail in the upcoming episodes. Inyo is just one stop along this route, which connects the islands of the municipality with its administrative center in Pargas. So, after setting off from Turku heading west, we'll eventually close the loop and return to the city from the east, passing once again through Paranen. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and reveal everything just yet. Right now, we're in Koustavi and heading to Inyo on the free ferry Sterna, departing from Heponiemi with a short stop at the port of Kanvik on the island of Jumo. Across the bays, canals, and lakes of Finland, many car ferries are in operation. The free ones are easy to spot. They're painted bright yellow. Our journey across the water will take about 25 minutes. That's plenty of time to head up to the upper deck, enjoy a coffee, and grab a snack at the self-service cafe. Depending on the season, the Sterna ferry runs between 5 and 7 times a day, on a set schedule. I'll leave a link to the current timetable in the video description. We've arrived at the port of Kanvik. A small note. Our journey is going in the opposite direction, counterclockwise. While most tourists, especially in summer, follow the island's ring in the usual direction. And it's here, in Kanvik, that traffic jams often occur, because of the long midday break for ferries. Sometimes you'll have to wait a long time for your turn, for the ferry to Koustavi, or for the nearby Finno ferry route, connecting the closest islands. But Kanvik is a great place to spend this time in comfort. Nearby, there's a public beach. You can swim in the clear water, or simply relax in the shade of the trees. Listen to the whisper of the forest, and enjoy the peace. Close by, there's a rest area with the Alpila Cafe and a private marina. You can have coffee, grab a bite to eat, rent a boat, or stay the night. There are cozy cabins available, as well as a beach cottage with amenities. The area has showers, toilets, a shared grill, and a camping site. Cabins can be conveniently booked through Booking.com. Convic is the place where waiting becomes a relaxing experience. We continue our journey along the Ring Road. Right now, we are on the island of Jumo, pronounced Yumo in Finnish. It's part of the local island group surrounding Inyo, a place with deep historical roots. Along the way, we pass one of the few remaining family estates. Most of the old homesteads here have long been reclaimed by time. The drive across the island is short, just a few kilometers. Ahead, there's another ferry that departs as soon as it's full. Yumo preserves the peaceful, unhurried spirit of these remote islands. Along its shores, you can even find secluded cottages, perfect for a quiet retreat by the sea. We've made it to Inyo. Our first stop is Björklund Båtslip, a charming camping area tucked along the shore. This peaceful harbor, with a depth of up to 2.5 meters, is perfect for yachts and motorboats to dock. There's also a fuel station available for topping up your boat, along with boat servicing options. For those arriving by land, the site offers spacious spots for tents, along with sauna facilities, showers, toilets, a kitchen, and laundry services. In the summer, the campsite also hosts a highly rated Thai restaurant. known for its delicious food and relaxing vibe. You'll find the link to this place in the video description, as always. Let's move to the central area of Inyo, Norby, where the island's main infrastructure is located. Here, you'll find one of the most popular ports, which was completely renovated in 2015. Right at the harbor, you'll find Café Leonella, featuring a spacious terrace overlooking the water. Here, you can enjoy freshly brewed coffee, homemade pastries, light lunches, a la carte meals, pizzas, salads, sandwiches, and local seafood specialties. On warm summer evenings, finding a free table can be a challenge. At the cafe counter, you can also arrange access to the sauna, rent keys for overnight cabins, and pick up equipment for mini golf. The port area also offers tent spaces and parking for motorhomes. The upgrades included new piers with electricity and fresh water supply, deepened harbor waters, a beach area, and a modern sauna. Convenient road access makes this harbor especially popular among sailors. Today, Norby combines maritime services, gastronomy, and island traditions. It is an ideal place for a short stop or a leisurely walk through the center of Inyo. Behind the new sauna, there is a small market square with neat little cabins. In summer, fresh local pastries, handmade souvenirs, and fishing supplies are offered here. On weekends and holidays, music fills the square, and exhibitions and other cultural events take place. A little further away, for more than 100 years, the local supermarket Lanthandel has been operating, where you can replenish your travel supplies, find souvenirs, clothing, and household goods with Inyo-themed prints. Let's step inside. During the peak summer season, with the influx of tourists and sailors, the store shelves may temporarily become empty. But don't worry. Deeper in the area, you can always have a snack and a coffee at the cozy cafe Gamla Banken. The municipality of Inyo is surrounded by many islands, 10 of which are inhabited year-round. To support life on the archipelago, the Pro-Inyo Association develops programs to encourage settlement of farms and island lands. Unfortunately, urbanization has a significant impact, and the number of permanent residents has been gradually declining. Today, about 180 people live here. Until recently, there was a small health center in the community, Hälsohus. However, it was recently sold at auction to a private owner, and its future remains uncertain. Nevertheless, life goes on. There is a kindergarten and a school, previously known as the schoolhouse. The history of education in the municipality began here in 1896, with A.W. Fagerlund as the first teacher. Initially, the school was a one-story building, with a classroom and living quarters for the teacher. Later, it was expanded to 2 stories, and underwent major renovation and modernization in the 1980s. Today, the school looks well kept, and children's voices still echo within its walls, a living continuation of centuries-old traditions carefully preserved by the islanders. The brightest of these is midsummer, the celebration of the summer solstice. Its roots go back to pagan times, long before Christianity arrived. The maypole, flower wreaths, folk songs, sauna, swimming, and bonfires by the water, none of it disappeared. Instead, it blended into Christian customs, and the day became known as the Feast of St. John, Johannes. Old and new rituals began to coexist. In the 18th and 19th centuries, life on the archipelago revolved around family farms. Families were large, 4 to 6 children. At home, people spoke Swedish, and despite hardships, years of poor harvests and wars, they held on to their faith, language, and way of life. Each family had their own land: a house, a barn, a garden, fields for wheat, vegetables, flax, and hemp. The sea brought steady catches all year round. To lose one's land meant losing everything. Shared meadows were used for haymaking. Plots were divided fairly to avoid disputes. Exchange, labor, and cooperation mattered more than money. The early 1800s marked a turning point in Inya's history. At that time, there were over 100 homesteads here, and the population grew past 1,800. The land reform known as Storskaft arrived, reorganizing farms and legally fixing property lines. It made farming more efficient, but changed old patterns of life and community. It was in these years, in June 1801, that a new wooden church was built in the village, replacing the old chapel. It was named in honor of the newborn princess, Sophia Wilhelmina. The church became the spiritual heart of the archipelago, hosting celebrations like Christmas, Easter, and St. Lucia's Day. And the tradition lives on. On December 28, 2024, the St. Lucia Choir visited the church in Inyo, led by Finland's Lucia of the Year, Daniela Owusu. Their concert reminded everyone that the spirit of the island still sings. Right across from the church is an old barnyard, Bodgård. Here stands one of the most unusual museums in the archipelago, Ploki Museo. It's a private collection dedicated to sailing blocks, a crucial element of any ship's rigging. It was founded by Jukka Tarikka, a former sailor and passionate collector. For 30 years, he's been collecting blocks from markets, shipyards, and old ships. Today, the collection holds nearly 300 unique pieces. Each one has its own shape, age, and history. The museum was created gradually, at first for the sake of order, later to share this history with others. Since 2014, it has been open to visitors, and the interest continues to grow. Everything here is carefully arranged. The blocks are hung in the same position they once had on ships. You can feel the hand of someone for whom maritime tradition is not just a memory, but a part of life. They tell the story of Gustav Eriksson. In 1913, he founded a shipping company in the Åland Islands, buying up old sailing ships and bringing them back to life. Sailing ships remained cost-effective on long ocean routes. They only needed wind and skilled sailors. Eriksson's fleet grew to 30 vessels, the last private fleet of sailing ships in the world and among the fastest. But Juka's initiatives don't stop there. In 2018, he began another project, the Museum of Winter Roads of the Archipelago. There you'll find old maps and photographs of frozen routes, as well as the vehicles islanders used to travel across the ice: sleds, sleighs, and even modified cars. These winter paths connected families and villages during the harsh months, and their story is just as valuable as the maritime one. I hope you found it interesting. But now it's time to leave Inyo. To show you new islands, I'm heading to the port of Dalen, where the ferry Antonia will soon arrive. I think you know what to do if you'd like to support the channel. I'm not saying goodbye.